Hey, here we are again. I want to address something that gets said all the time in recovery and in church, and honestly, anywhere people are trying to hold on to hope through hard seasons. I hear it all the time. God will restore the years the locusts have eaten. And I understand why people hold on to that. When you've lost years of your life to addiction or trauma or failure, survival, you want to believe there's a place ahead where everything comes back together exactly the way you imagined it would. The career you thought you were building, the marriage you thought you would survive, the relationships you thought would heal differently, the version of your life that was waiting for you after all of the suffering ended. But I want to show you something uncomfortable. Paul never got his old life back. Moses, he never entered the promised land. And Joseph never got the lost years back. And David never got that child back. And not one of those stories ends with God rebuilding the exact future they once imagined for themselves. That doesn't mean God failed them. It means his purpose was larger than the life they were trying to hold on to. And when people build their recovery on the expectation that God is going to return exactly what was lost, the specific future they had in their mind, and it doesn't come back that way, they don't just get disappointed, they fall. Because they were never moving toward God. They were moving toward an outcome they assigned to God. And when the outcome doesn't arrive, neither does the faith that was attached to it. In Philippians 3:13 through 14, Paul says, "Forgetting what lies behind and straining forward to what lies ahead, I press on toward the goal." Paul sounds less like a man standing in certainty and more like a man continuing forward after the collapse of the life he thought he would have. And he still presses on. Not because he was guaranteed the future he imagined, because Christ had become greater than the future he lost. In Ephesians 3:20 says, "He is able to do far more abundantly than all that we ask or think." And the problem is, we keep trying to imagine restoration through the limits of what we can picture from inside our own suffering. We keep asking God to rebuild something that we can recognize instead of trusting that what he is building is beyond what we are even capable of imagining while we were just trying to survive. That's what recovery actually is. It's not a destination or getting your old life back, not arriving somewhere polished where all the pain finally makes sense. Recovery is transformation. It's the lifelong process of being pulled back toward who you were actually created to be. And every person on this planet is in recovery from something. Some people wrestle with substances. Some people disappear into control, performance, and approval. And some people live underneath anger or shame for so long they no longer know who they are apart from it. And underneath all of it is humanity trying to recover what was lost. But true restoration only comes through Christ, because he is the one pulling us back toward the life and identity we were actually created for in God. That's why I keep moving. I don't fully understand where this is going. I don't know that God is rebuilding what I lost the way I pictured it. But I believe his purpose is still moving even here. And what he is building is larger than anything I could have asked or imagined on my own. And I'm still wrestling with it. But I'm still here. And that's not just what faith looks like some days. That's what it looks like most days for most people. And nobody says that. I'm Brandon. This is your momentum moment.